let's try this again. Oh. Okay, let's see if this thing's working. Testing, testing. Slow on the start today. Had an equipment malfunction, brain malfunction, health malfunction, malfunction, function. What's your junction? Ooh, that's not what I'm doing right now. There we go. Okay, let's see. First, I was going to start off with a little introduction to my characters. This is why I'm all over the place in the game. I get bored easily, so repeat. So I'm running all sorts of content everywhere. Kind of gets monotonous. But I got a thing for itchy head right now. Got a little sweaty. Let's see. So I got a thing for making my characters. And see, the thing is, when they created the new enchantment changeover, I turned around and because I could claim them on other characters, I started making new characters, trying out different classes, different races. So you'll see that I have like two of certain classes. That's because if you notice carefully, there are two different races for the different damages. Ooh, cool. And so I wanted to check that out. Other than that, let's see. Plus, I want to run support and stuff like that. I like helping people out. So I do a lot of helping people out rather than doing my own content. So lately I have been trying my best to get playing catch up. See, when they changed everything over to the enchantments, to the mythic, and with the mythic companions and the mythic mounts account wide. Whenever I started a new character, I started out at about 60K. So when I got to 20,000, I was like OP already, item level there. But the thing was, I got into the dungeons and then blah blah blah, running content with friends and that. Meanwhile, I had not done the boons, so I have to go back into my game, go through all my characters, see which ones have done the adventures, see which ones have done campaigns, and oh, I opened up a whole new can of worms there. My can of worms was because I jumped to level 20 right away, and my item level was up so high, I was able to jump into dungeons and get gear. I didn't do a lot of adventures and campaigns. So that's basically what you're seeing my videos are. Um, I'm catching up on all my adventures and campaigns on my characters. And because I have numerous characters, I'm going to be doing a lot of catching up. So we'll start with, well, let's see, character options. No, let's see, display options. I will get listed as my created date. So she would be my first. She is my Thermatur. I had created her when I first started playing with my son, and I sucked. I really sucked at this game, and I was, as everyone would know, wizards are glass cannons until not even a cannon. I was just glass until a certain level, and she was one of the first ones I started playing. And I kind of got tired of going through so many scrolls. I got tired of people getting tired of picking my dead ass up. So I kind of put her on hiatus. That's why she's kind of so low level. I think she's only 80 something. It says 79 here, but that's because I don't have the companion and mount bonus added on right now. So she is my wizard. She's my main first one. She's an Thermaturge. And okay, so this is my rogue. Same thing as you know. You'll notice that I'm kind of a fashion whore. I like to create the different costumes, and I love the different looks. See, what screwed me up a lot when the beginning of the game was when I started playing. I never had anybody to explain to me about my back pages, and I had come into some money, so I threw a bunch of money into the game, and I was buying this mount and that mount because they look good with my character. Oh, I was buying this because it looked good with my character. Meanwhile, I ended up with shit. I think the first few characters I made, I ended up with more useless mounts and companions than I did. I think one of my characters has something like 20 mythic companions, probably about the same in mounts. That are I was leveling up all the wrong shit. So when I met a couple of my friends, they turned around and helped me to, learn my back page, learn my mount damage, started learning about the percentage and about the item level, the difference, about how the item level doesn't matter. Excuse me. But the back, the page, the percentage does. So I ended up creating her. She's got one of the masks that are no longer in the game. It was one of the dungeon, no dungeon, but it was one of the area bosses that you had to fight that you got this. I'm almost tempted. I have one more mask like it, and I'm almost tempted to sell it, but it's one of a kind now on the marketplace. So I know I'm not kind of a greedy guy, but I can sell it for a hell of a lot of AD, and oh, could I ever use the AD now? And next is my Barbarian, which a lot of you have seen me play. I am just starting to level her back up. She's the same thing. She's kind of a low item level. I don't have any of the higher item level stuff. She's still doing the adventures. Still got a bunch of campaigns to do. Then I tried my hand out here on my on a tank. So this is actually my tank, my solo tank loadout. She is directly just for content. So she's actually got um, a DPS build about her. So she's got the tank abilities, but she can cause damage. I've impressed a few people because I've taken the top of the leaderboard on some of the small, some of the minor dungeons and on the regular dungeons. Whereas people are like, well, how are you taking that when you're a tank? I said, well, it's the build I made. I got tired of it taking a half an hour to kill anything with a regular paladin, so I created this one. And I went with the orc because nobody else had an orc. And I do like her damage and I do like her defense, so there. This one here, she is my main. She is another wizard. And she is an arcanist. And she is just about 97k. So she's almost my end game. But because I had so much problems with elitists in a lot of the groups I played, a lot of the guilds and alliances, I kind of just pulled a lot of my characters out. I'm in a pretty good alliance now in guild with a friend of mine, but I really don't run her that much anymore. This one here is one of my favorites. She is a warden. She was at first a ranger. I had made her originally was a trapper ranger, where I did nothing but trapping, and basically me and my buddy, he was running a tank. We ran a combination where he'd gather them and I'd trap them in the spot, and then everybody would just take them out. Never rated high on the scoreboard until afterwards. So now she's doing better as a warden. I've learned about switching between the distance and the melee, and the ranged attacks. And this one here, again, I'm on my loadout. This one here is, geez, I forget what she is. I forget what race. Oh, the Asmer. That's Asmer. And she is actually my Healadin. My Shieldin, I call her. Because she throws more of a shield than a heal, but I got the mixture going. And again, this is the same thing as my other paladin. This is the DPS side, where I do the damage and do the content. And then this is my other ranger. She's gone all nature, all her mounts, her companions, they all kind of basically go with nature. And I just did her just because I like the nature with the ranger. And she is, again, she was my original warden, but I never got into playing her much. So I never really got to do much with her. So she's one of the ones that are basically on the back page. And then, of course, everybody knows my fighter. It's the same thing. Does a lot of damage and just of my one main attack. My call it my Captain America, where I get to throw my shield. And again, she's another one that I do not have. I'm still playing like a mid-game level. I just can't get into the grind, the constant grind of the areas yet. I do understand I have to, but a lot of the areas I haven't even done, like, haven't even finished on a lot of these. And then there's this one here was I had joined. I call her my late wife, my late gaming wife. I had joined a friend of mine on a group we used to have called our guild used to be called Midget Mafia, and we were supposed to be all midgets, all little people. It was supposed to be strictly little people, and so I made her, and she's another barbarian, but she's closer to a tankish barbarian. But I still don't like playing a tank barbarian. Like even with my fighter, I'm not a big tank fan on them. I'm more of a DPS style. But you can see she's just a little thing. She's fast and she's dangerous. And you don't even get to see her weapon. There it is. Her weapon's like, 3/4 her size. And then my original Warlock. She was all damaged. She's one of the ones where she's never been changed since creation. I fell in love with the way her outfit looked, and again, she's got that mesh mask, the mesh Batwing mask. It really kind of accentuates the whole costume. And then this one here is my cleric. I do have a healer cleric, but I kind of had problems keeping my divinity up. I really couldn't figure out how to do it properly. So it was getting frustrating in dungeons because people were basically dying off, and because of me. I wasn't throwing enough heals. Like the heals I threw were okay if I could catch you, but a lot of the times somebody would get low health, and I'm mid-move or something, so I couldn't throw the heal, or else I'd be out of divinity and I couldn't throw anything. So I went and looked into my Arbiter side, and I didn't change anything. I went over to my Arbiter side, and I was shocked because my Arbiter side was all was almost all 80% up and down the board for damage, outgoing, and everything. So I started playing her more, and I liked her for a while. And here was my Moon Elf, another Warlock. She was actually the only character at the time to finish all content, but I think I'm 3 mods behind now to finish everything. She's the only one I did the dragons on. So she was my dragon armorer. I just played her just to get whatever dragon armor I wanted for any character. But she ended up being sacrificed. Her enchantments and insignias were sacrificed for the greater cause of my wizard. She's the one I spent most of my time on. And then here's my bard. There's a little story behind the bard. I actually created her just for curiosity's sake, and I have a bad thumb, so I have problems doing the up, down, left, right, bounce this, bounce that kind of shit. So I couldn't really play the guitar to do any of the real damage or healing. So I kind of turned her into a banking character. She's got all 72 slots bags. and they're full of mounts and companions that I have no idea what I'm going to do with yet, because they're all, like I said, they're all basic garbage. They don't really help out. They're just more collection wise. My goal was actually to take them out and transfer them to each character to fill up my collection. But after a couple mods, they turned around and I noticed that my collection was missing a few of the stuff that I already had in each character. This one is my other ranger. She's my only dragonborn, and she's a whisper knife, which I'm not a very big fan of the whisper knife. Everybody loves up and down the whisper knife. Not me. I'm You're kind of just sitting in limbo right now. When I run into people that kind of need a low level character, I'll bring her out to help run content and that. This one here, she was actually supposed to be my fighter tank, but I never got into building the tank side of her. I started playing the DBS side. A lot of people that follow me have seen her run. I do a lot of running with her. She was actually one of the first ones I did major runs with. This is my other cleric, and again, she is. This one was created to be the DPS side. She wasn't created for a healer. I only run the DPS side of her. And this one as well is a warlock healer. She was created just to be a healer. I think this is actually her DPS side, because I was running some content. She was fun because the first time I ran with her, I had joined this other guild and I had posted a video. Like I saved the video from us taking down a dragon, and I was actually only a level 3 going into that battle. And the thing was, you couldn't see was, sure, I was a level 3, but because of the mods, because of not the mods, but because of the enchantments and the mounts and companions, I was over 50k item level. And I had gotten criticized because of it being a 3. Oh, you guys that need to be carried, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, just cut down. And meanwhile, I just turned around and said, before you say anything, you should realize, you can't see the item level. And I said, my item level is, I told him. And he's like, oh, geez, kind of went silent after that. And my last one here is when they did that one thing in the last mod where you had this little, I don't know, kind of a bullshit glitch where if you wanted to create anything, you had to actually make a new character to get the rewards. So she kind of became my character, and she's another rogue assassin. And again, another one that's sitting in limbo right now, not even playing. So basically, that is my characters in a nutshell. And I hope to show more about it. If anybody has any questions, like I said, I run 19 characters. I do have a basic knowledge to a mid-level knowledge. I'm not an end game player, so I have no end game knowledge. I do know some of the end game, the master dungeons, but I don't run them enough to control them. So thanks for watching this short little video, if you watched it. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Later.